Yo, 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 guys. What's up? What's up? Can y'all hear me fine? Let's check this, guys. Monica Lewinsky 1, Dinjarin, Jack Barrett, Adolfo Boko, 675, DePaul, Connor, what's up, Connor? Brian Rowe, Geppetto, Travis Novak, Me Zero. Music is loud. How's everybody's day going? The Mandalorian finale. It's going good, Shakari. Thank you for asking. My mind is still on the Mandalorian, you know? Emotionally drained from that finale? Yeah, it's understandable. It's understandable that would happen. I know a lot of people in the community that was just bawling their eyes out. I unfortunately am, stunted in the emotional department. But I was in there, man. I was just losing it myself internally. I internalized a lot of it. Luke's face looked really bad, not gonna lie. Yeah, there was a bit of uncanny valley going on there. You know what? But I understood. I guess I don't know exactly what was happening. Is it just like, was it just a deep fake, or was it a de? They did list Mark Hamill in the credits, so I don't know if it was like a deep fake or a de-aging thing, but it definitely it definitely wasn't perfect. I had Superman mustache removal vibes in that scene. But at the same time, I was lost in it. I was lost in that scene. I just didn't believe. I didn't believe that they actually went there with Luke. And now, since Luke is on the show, or has been on the show, nothing is off the table. Nothing's off the table for the Mandalorian or Favloni. We could very well see Leia as well. You kind of forgot the end credit. I did not. I just stopped my recording, but I did watch the end credit. I don't have a reaction to it on my reaction video, but I did see it. Gregory, I do remember that. We were trying to count on our fingers the 10, and then, like, I guess this is another one, you know what? I have a feeling that whatever they announced at the Investors Day is just the tip of the iceberg. They had to keep a lot of shows, if not a lot more shows, close to the chest just for spoilers. Especially with The Mandalorian. They couldn't announce anything that had to do with the Mandalorian finale as part of their show. their announcements. I think season 3 of Mandalorian will be a live action retaking Mandalore with Din leading them since he has the Darksaber. You know what, that makes sense. There's a lot of precedence for Bo-Katan to take the Darksaber, but I do understand the angle that it would just look really weak for her to take it again in the same way she took it from Sabine. But I don't see them being antagonistic to each other. I don't see Bo-Katan like fighting an unwilling Din Djarin. I don't. She knows better. She's seen the Civil War. She lost her sister. She knows better than to engage in that sort of conflict when Din Djarin isn't even antagonistic to her, and Din Djarin's a Mandalorian, so he has the Darksaber and a Mandalorian has it, so she might start even training Din. She might even see a leader in Din. Someone as willing as him to honor the Mandalorian way. What did you think of the end credit scene? It was okay. I knew that they had to kind of provide closure for Boba in that way, you know. I think given the date that they gave for the Book of Boba Fett, I think it is apropos. Given that the Mandalorian airs somewhere around October, end of October, and then we just had the finale here in December, and given how they're going to film a lot of this stuff in tandem with each other, we're going to have Mandalorian season 3 and then the Book of Boba Fett right after the finale of season 3, and we're going to explore Boba Fett's story becoming I guess a crime boss or a syndicate boss next. We might even see Nar Shaddaa, you know. He might even take over a cartel. Grogu might not be dead because Kylo took some from the temple before he destroyed everything, and people survived like Luke did. So let's address that. Obviously, that's the elephant in the room, right? We know that Yoda became a Jedi Master at 100, which means that they are at least that developed enough to become so. And the events at Luke's Jedi Academy don't happen for another 20 years. So it could very well be that Grogu is developed enough in another 20 years that he's off taking his night trial. He's off on a mission. There are a couple of students that were off on missions that weren't at the temple when that happened. And that's why you don't see Grogu at Luke's Jedi Temple in the Rise of Kylo Ren comics. I think Grogu went off on his own. Maybe even like as soon as he became of age, as soon as he was able to go off on his own and take his night trial, he may even reunite with Din. So I don't think this is the end for Grogu. And if that's not the case, they have a lot of work to do to fill in that plot hole. And I don't think they're willing to put that much of a plot hole in the sequels, or create one where one didn't exist before. So Grogu definitely has a story, and it doesn't end with the Kylo Ren stuff. Do you think the Book of Fett will see some more bounty hunters? Yeah, for sure. I think this is his kind of like the start of his journey recreating Krait's Claw. We may see Bosk, but we know that Aurra Sing is dead. But yeah, it seems to be, given what we know about the state of things in the timeline that the book is going to take place, you know, concurrently with the Mandalorian timeline, it's going to be him kind of recreating Krait's Claw, maybe even Do a bounty hunter-esque show. That's you know, it seems like the direction that they're going. Do you have the lightsaber collection book? I unfortunately do not. I want to though. Do you like video games? And if so, what's your favorite? Wow. Yeah, I was about to stream, where I'm about to stream The Old Republic. But, what's my favorite? My favorite of all time is Chrono Trigger. But I'm confident that is well before some of your guys' time. But I like RPGs. I like open world games, single player games. I do play Destiny 2. But I liked Fallen Order. I like Red Dead Redemption, Skyrim, all of those games. I'll play the hell out of those games. And I just got finished beating Cyberpunk as well. Even though that the Clone Wars episode wasn't published, is Cad Bane still confirmed? No, it's not. It's a deleted scene, and it would be nice. It would be nice for it to be canon, but it's not. If it's a deleted scene, it's not canon. Just like the deleted scene with Revan and Revan and Bane in the Mortis arc. It's just not. It's not canon if it's not actually out there and not a deleted scene. Did anyone else just bawl for the last half of the finale? You know what? I internally did it. Luke. Luke, I internalized it, a lot of it, but I was elated. Witcher? Yes, I absolutely love the Witcher games as well. Could R2D2 have saved Grogu because you saw the way they looked at each other and it never showed R2 go back to the ship in episode 3 when Anakin told him to? And so what if R2 rescued him? Yeah. That's actually very plausible. That's a great theory. I too, if you watched my reaction video to the finale, I was like, does Grogu recognize R2? You know? Take care, Lil Connor. Thanks for tuning in. I think Grogu definitely recognizes R2 from his old temple days. It was definitely the trigger for him to leave with Luke, for sure. Did you expect Luke to be in the finale, or maybe Cal Kestis or Ezra Bridger? I expected a lot of Jedi, and I did expect Luke. I just didn't want it to be Luke for narrative reasons. I expected it to be, or I speculated Yaddle. I speculated Quinlan Voss. Cal Kestis could have shown up. Ezra Bridger made the most narrative sense with all of the Easter eggs that they had in the previous episodes with the Loth Cats. But, you know, as much as I didn't expect it and didn't want it to be narratively, I was absolutely thrilled that it was, because that just means that nothing is off the table for Favloni, you know? As I said earlier, we could very well get Leia. We could get a lot of people in these TV shows. It's exciting, really, to think that we can have all of these polarizing characters on a TV show. Do you wish it was a different Jedi that turned up? Yeah, there's a small part of me that was disappointed it wasn't a different Jedi. But I was super happy to see Prime Luke. He got his own Rogue One hallway scene. But I would have been happy with any other Jedi. But, you know, looking at it from a different angle, obviously he's the most recognizable for the general audience. So, I mean, we're okay. I think we would have been okay with another Jedi showing up and having the chance to explore that story and explain who that Jedi is in further seasons, but I think this was probably the safest way to go. I'm very disappointed with it being Luke. I wanted more Ezra content, but maybe that'll come in the Ahsoka show. Yeah, definitely. There's angles to explore, story threads to explore in the Ahsoka show. Is it confirmed for season 3? What's confirmed for season 3? Sorry. That Luke Rogue One hallway scene, like father, like son, was personally a top Star Wars moment in my eyes. Yeah, definitely one of the best moments in Star Wars as well. You know, he had his own, but it was the antithesis, right? It was just droids. So it wasn't out of character for Luke to go ham and completely destroy a bunch of droids. A modern style Star Wars RPG similar to The Witcher would be incredible because of the new technology. Yes. That is my eternal Star Wars pitch. My game pitch is a Red Dead Redemption open world type of game with Mass Effect RPG elements, with the dialogue choices and just the freedom of choice from Mass Effect, and then the RPG open world elements of Witcher and Red Dead Redemption. Will you be reading High Republic as soon as it releases? Absolutely. And I will be doing a deep dive on my YouTube channel. I do have an upcoming Darth Bane retrospect that I'm working on. I'm going to be rereading the Darth Bane trilogy, and I'm going to be releasing a breakdown of each chapter of each book, so you guys can read along with me. Do you think now we'll get to see more of Old Man Luke? Is that on the table? Would love to see. Listen, nothing is off the table. Everything is on the table. Benjamin Brieg. Everything is on the table. I think, you know, a small part of me thinks that this was a backdoor pilot for a Prime Luke show, and given the circumstances and the positive feedback and reception, I think they may end up doing a show with Luke and Grogu training with Sebastian Stan. Yes, it is confirmed that there's going to be a season 3. They announced it at the investors meeting, or the investors day. Didn't we get some Star Wars game news? I saw that somewhere, but I didn't watch the video. I don't know. I think if there was it was going to be at the Game Awards. I wasn't watching the Game Awards. I was watching the Investors Day. This is a little off topic, but do you believe Mace Windu is alive? I do not. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, the Star Wars book lists him as deceased, a definitive deceased. And the same book, it lists Ahsoka as unknown, right? So they're not beyond listing that as, they're not beyond being ambiguous with that. So if it lists Ahsoka as unknown and Mace deceased, he did. The beacon in The Last Jedi Luke has on Ahch-To, is that like the compass he used to find Grogu? Yeah, that could very well may be the case. Because it's Ahch-To, and Tython and Ahch-To are both ancient temples. Imagine if Boba and Luke met again on the cruiser, if Boba was with the crew, obviously. Yeah, that would have been funny. That would have been a nice little reunion right there. I guess that's why they didn't have Boba Fett as part of the final crew, right? I think they would probably put small Easter eggs in the next season, and in the finale, they would bring back a character from Star Wars, and they might visit Leia's planet before it got destroyed. You know, there's room for them to do a young Leia show, absolutely, and I think Millie Bobby Brown is the perfect young Leia. If they do kind of like an adaptation of Queen's Shadow, Queen's Peril, I haven't read them, but sorry, that is Padme. Leia, Princess of Alderaan. I don't think either Boba or Luke would have any hard feelings towards each other. Luke for sure wouldn't have hard feelings, but you never know with Boba. He came back and destroyed Bib Fortuna. I think it's not above Boba to hold grudges, as evidenced in the end credit scene. What do you think the next season of Mandalorian will be about? Okay, so I think it's Din's turn to hold up his end of the bargain, right? I think he made a deal with Bo-Katan. The child is safe now, and it's up to Din now to hold up his end of the bargain. He's going to help her retake Mandalore, and I think that whole season is going to revolve around Mandalorian culture, Mandalorian history. I think the Mandalorian is the perfect vessel and vehicle for them to explore all of the lore that is currently not present in canon for the Mandalorians. So if they go back to Mandalore, if Bo-Katan and Din are like retaking Mandalore, it's a huge story thread for them to pull on. I don't think Embo is listed in the Star Wars book, to be quite honest, which is sad. Din Djarin. We could see young Leia helping Rebels, like in Rebels TV show. She had, yeah, for sure. Again, Millie Bobby Brown is the perfect young Leia. That would be kind of cool to see. What do you think will happen between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin? I don't foresee them being antagonistic to each other. Bo-Katan has lost way too much. She lost Mandalore because she was in the Civil War. She lost her sister to politics. I don't think she's going to be antagonistic, and I certainly don't think Din Djarin is going to be antagonistic. He was yielding for like 5 minutes straight. So Bo-Katan's not going to fight him fight an unwilling Din, and Din's not going to fight Bo-Katan because he has way too much respect for Mandalore. Do you think we could see Sabine in season 3? I think we can see Sabine in Ahsoka, but Sabine is always a possibility given she's a Mandalorian as well. Have you already talked about Boba during the stream? I have. We've touched on it briefly. The Book of Boba Fett. It's going to be another show that's filmed in tandem with all the other shows, and given the date of December 2021, it's going to air immediately after the Mandalorian season 3 finale, because we're in December right now, and we just had the finale, so the timing is perfect from the end of October to mid-December, and then on to the Book of Boba Fett. Do we need a villain in Mando? I'd venture to say not, but it would be good to have one. I don't think that's the last we've seen of Gideon. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, I think, right? I forget how that adage goes. Do you think Din be completely open with taking his helmet off in season 3? Yes. He has crossed that threshold. He's accepted, especially with Bo-Katan and Casca, that the helmet creed is not something that is universal. Let's see. So if he's not listed in the book, you think Embo is alive past the original trilogy? You think he'll be in the Book of Boba? If Embo makes a return, that would be awesome. He's one of my favorite bounty hunters. He could. He could very well make an appearance in the Book of Boba. We don't have. We don't have a. I don't think we have a canon reference as to where Embo is at this moment. I thought The Mandalorian season 3 was starting on Christmas. Is it finishing on Christmas? We don't have a date. I'm just going off of what we know. In the last 2 seasons was winter. So, and it's currently December 18th, which means that if a season 3 is, if Book of Boba is coming back, is airing December 2021, then it's safe to assume that season 3 is going to have a finale in December next year as well. When is the Obi-Wan series coming out? They start filming in February or March of 21. I have not seen the news of Anakin being in every episode of Kenobi. I mean, I've seen the news that Hayden's coming back as Anakin. That's pretty cool. If he's going to be in every episode, it's going to be an hour long. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for every single hour of Star Wars that they want to give me. Din had some major character development. Absolutely. In the past 2 episodes, just leaps and bounds. You know, he just in the previous episode alone, he took off his helmet for Grogu, and he takes it off again for Grogu, except this time it's in front of other Mandalorians. And so he's kind of surpassed his own limits almost. Do you think Grogu will be in season 3? I think so. The story of Din and Grogu isn't over. A lot of people are being cynical about it. It's like this is the end for Grogu. I don't. He's a freaking marketing machine, right? He is a merchandise pusher. And so I think there's going to be story threads there where we see him training with Luke, or Din comes back and visits him and he's in some episodes. And then I think the crux of season 3 is that Grogu is going to go back to Din. You know? How do you expect him to return to Din without undoing the impact of their separation? I don't think, well, you know, the narrative would have to make sense around that, right, Johnny boy? I think we'd have to work that out at the very least. I think when Grogu reappears in season 3, it's going to be with Luke. But anything can happen when times are desperate, when the situation is, or the circumstances are extenuating. So there could very well be a narrative push towards the end of season 3 to have Grogu return to Din, or to have Luke say, you know, give him back. I think this was the last Mando episode just because Mando's goal was to get Grogu to the Jedi, and he did that. You know what? That kind of makes sense. It could very well end right now, and we wouldn't, there wouldn't be anything of it, but I think it's just too much of a, there's a lot of story threads left to explore with Bo-Katan and Mandalore. You know, the Mandalorian is the perfect vehicle, as I keep saying, to explore Mandalorian culture. And the Book of Boba Fett is not the vehicle because he's not Mandalorian. And he doesn't care about Mandalore. He said he doesn't care about Mandalore. So we need a show that goes back to Mandalore, that explores the story of Bo-Katan and how she lost the saber. And we need closure on that front, too, with Din and Bo-Katan. It's rather Din accomplished one of his goals. The next goal that he has always had since the beginning, before he met Grogu, was the glorification of Mandalore once again, to step out of from the shadows, you know? And so it's just on to main quest or campaign quest number 2 for Din. This was his first quest. Now he's on to the next one in his campaign. I don't think Filoni and Favreau expected Grogu to be so loved by fans. I mean, I think they did. I think Favloni is. I think they're kind of geniuses at this point, right? I think in these last few episodes they were preparing us for no Grogu in season 3, but he'll probably still have some scenes in season 3. Yeah, for sure. He's not done. Grogu and Din are not done. Let's stop being cynical right now and stop saying this is goodbye, because Din said in the very episode, in the very finale, this isn't the last time we'll see each other. So, y'all acting like Din can't visit Grogu. How many seasons do you think The Mandalorian will go on? Is so much to explore in a galaxy that is far, far away. I think The Mandalorian will go for as many seasons as it takes to tell the story they need to tell. And no more and no less. And I think the current story thread is enough to explore with Bo-Katan and Mandalore. We need Mandalore in The Mandalorian. We need to explore the Mandalorian culture and history and mythology. I think Kylo may have killed Grogu. I don't think so. The disturbance that Luke saw in Ben was as if a million voices cried out in terror and then suddenly disappeared. Luke was seeing the cataclysm of Hosnian Prime and the Starkiller base. That's what he saw. How many seasons would you want? Would you start getting bored of it or think, okay, time to wrap it up? I think that depends heavily, Johnny boy. I mean, if they could wrap it up neatly, then maybe 3 seasons. If they could wrap it up in next season, like neatly, and not leave any kind of open ends, then that's great. But if the next story thread is to explore Mandalore and their culture and go to Mandalore with Bo-Katan and have this whole arc with them, then definitely if that takes a season or 2 more, then for sure. But I would want them. It's going to be on a case by case basis. I would want them to just wrap it up neatly if they can, and if it wraps up, then we're good. Did you see the move that Luke did that paralleled Anakin's on Mustafar? Which one in particularly? There's a lot of moves in that on Mustafar in that fight. Do you think we'll be seeing Grogu with a lightsaber fighting? I think it would be cute, adorable. I don't know. I really don't know. We all know that he would be using a Shoto, though. It depends. We'd have to see what he looks like after his Yoda-esque growth spurt at 70. I think the Book of Boba Fett title is referring to a new show. The new show that's going to air in tandem with Rangers of the New Republic and Ahsoka and The Mandalorian. All of these shows are filming in tandem with each other because they're around the same timeline. So production-wise, they can get a lot done across all of these shows. It's like the CW Arrowverse, right? Are Malik, Revan, Malgus, and Nihilus canon? If so, does that mean a possibility of an Old Republic series? So, Malik is not. Revan is in name. Malgus is not, and Nihilus is not. Revan is the only one that has been mentioned in canon, and just his name. And he does exist in the Old Republic. So there is a possibility for the Old Republic series. It may not be one-to-one from what's in Legends, but Revan is canon in name and his story exists. We just don't know what his story is. I hope Luke and Din exchange numbers so they can meet up. Yeah, they have each other's holocoms, for sure. Do you think we'll ever see another live-action Maul again? Yes. If this is exploring the time between 3 and 4, well, we may very well get a live-action Twin Sons. Sakai? I don't think so. I think Grogu left to go on his trials before then. I think because that happens in roughly 20 years, and I think Grogu will have a growth spurt by then. He's not present in the Academy on the Rise of Kylo Ren, and I don't think that Filoni would. I don't think Filoni would, intentionally create that plot hole. I think there's a narrative reason for why Grogu is no longer at the Academy by the time the Rise of Kylo Ren happens. I mean, of course, plot holes exist. Plot holes will exist in all of film, but they're not created intentionally. So I don't think Filoni would intentionally, knowing what we know about The Last Jedi and the events surrounding the Temple and the Rise of Kylo Ren, I don't think that they would intentionally create that plot hole. Oh, the behind the back block. Yeah, he went behind the back and deflected in that one, yeah. Was Kix at the Battle of Exegol? Probably. If he was in cryosleep, would he still be aging accelerated? Do you think Grogu's still alive? Yes, I do. He went off on his own. He's gonna have a growth spurt by the time he's 70, and he's gonna go off to take his trials, and he may even join Din as part of his trials. What's up, Takis Helmy? I saw today's episode, man. I cried. Yeah, a lot of people cried. I was on the edge of crying myself, but I internalized it. Maul will be in the Obi-Wan series. That seems like a guarantee. Yeah. It makes sense. Given the timeline that they're doing, it makes sense that we're going to get a live-action Twin Sons at the very least. Maul's not very prevalent during this time until Rebels. He's very much in the shadows with the Shadow Collective, so we may just end up seeing small hints of him during the series, and then we're going to get Twin Sons and his story's over. Everyone acting as if Grogu going to get killed by Ben Solo, as this wouldn't be a good ending to Grogu's story. No, I don't think he gets killed. I think, again, Grogu goes off to take his trials when he turns 70. Because at that point, he's almost developed enough to be like Yoda, who was a master at 100. He's going to take his trials, and part of his trials is going to be to join Din again. And it's going to be like a Kanan and Ezra situation. It's going to be Din and Grogu. Grogu is his Force user. How old would Grogu be at the time Ben destroyed the Jedi Temple? He would be around 70. Your podcast is up on Sunday, right? Yes, it is. Sundays at 11 a.m. Who is Jedi Knight Krell from the Clone Wars? Jedi Knight? That was Jedi Master Pong Krell? Are you talking about? He's a stupid basilisk who didn't care for the clones and went to the dark side. No, he's not a basilisk. Sorry. He is I know he had 4 arms. I forget off the top of my head what species he was, but Ponkrell is just a bastard. The whole Boba, Bo, Casca Reeves dialogue was amazing. Love the tension and cheap blows each one did. Yes. I love that. I loved it a lot. I didn't know sidekicks could talk. Oh my gosh. That was savage. Boba is a sidekick. But at the same time, Casca is kind of like Bo-Katan's sidekick, so she's kind of like self-awareness there. Grogu will be the ruler of Mandalore at one point. We shall see. He was in cryo-freeze for 50 years, so he'd be the youngest clone. Yeah. It would make sense. How old is Grogu? Grogu is 50 right now. And we're at 10 ABY. And the events of the Jedi Temple happen around 28, 29-ish, I think. So there's about like 20 years for that to happen. 24, there's about 24 years left. So he'd be 74. I really want to see the state of the galaxy after episode 9. Yeah. I think the sequels deserve and need its own Clone Wars TV show. Grogu really seems to change the long-term impact of Luke's character. Grogu could be around for 1,000 years now. Yeah. Or maybe, like you said, he was on his trials at the time, came back to find the temple in burnt ruins. That would be sad, man. That would be sad if Grogu came back to such a site. Why would Boba not be considered a Mando if he was basically an adopted son foundling of Jango? Because he didn't. Because Jango died, and Boba, as far as he's concerned, he has no interest in swearing allegiance to Mandalore. And that's one of the key factors of being a foundling. When you come of age, you choose Mandalore or you choose something else. He chose bounty hunting. Yeah, I've heard your voice thousands of times. That was a savage moment for Bo, for sure. Who do you think will win the fight? Din versus Bo-Katan? I don't think they're gonna fight. I don't know. I don't know. More emotional Mando season 2 finale or Clone Wars. Listen, you can't compare the two because Ahsoka is. A lot of people love Ahsoka and the clones, and just seeing that seeing Order 66 from that perspective was pretty emotional. The season 2 finale, we haven't been with Grogu or Din for as long as we were with the other characters, but you know, the emotional impact of seeing Luke again, that was I think that tops it though. Where do you think Grogu was at the time of Rise of Skywalker? He was traveling around with Din Djarin. When he becomes of age, he's going to choose to join Din. Why does Gideon say the Darksaber can't simply be passed down, but it was literally passed down the Vizsla line for centuries? It was passed down from Vizsla to Vizsla, and I think Death Watch kind of perpetuated this misguided notion that it has to be won in combat. I think we will get Sabine in the Ahsoka series. However, do you think Rex may make an appearance in the show as well? It's certainly possible for him to show up, but he would be very old by this time. You know, he was super old in the Battle of Endor, and now this is like 5 years later, so he's on his last chapter, I guess. He could make an appearance though. Like Ahsoka could visit him on like in a nursing home and he's just like, "How are you doing, Rex?" And then Rex is like, "Never been better." How old will Din be around Rise of Skywalker? Off the top of my head, I don't remember how old Din is now. But just add 24 year 20 25 years to it. 25 years. I think it's cool that the kyber crystal of the Darksaber is a pearl from a Krayt Dragon Pearl. It hasn't been confirmed, Din. We don't have a canon reference as to what listen. The current canon we have is that the Darksaber is a kyber crystal. We just don't know what type of kyber crystal. Do you think we'll see Cody in the Kenobi series? I don't think so. I have an issue. We saw the Razor Crest in episode 9, did we not, as part of the civilian fleet? How? And he may have gotten a new ship. If so, was Grogu with him? I think they rebuilt the Razor Crest, and I think Grogu is with him at that moment. But again, the story was about Rey and Ben, so that's why we didn't see any of it. You were talking about how the new Star Wars series being similar to the Arrowverse on the CW in regards to it being around the same time. Do you think they'll do crossovers as well? I think so. I think that's what they're setting up for in Disney Plus, right? All like Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, all filming in tandem with each other, just like the Arrowverse does. And so I think what we're going to see is intertwining story threads where their characters meet each other on their journeys. And then at some point there's going to be a huge story thread like Thrawn that brings them all together for like a big crossover event. Rex rolling around in a wheelchair. Yeah. I'm really happy now the fandom is united again. Is it though? There's still a couple of gatekeepers out there, no? But there's always going to be gatekeepers. Pops off. Spoilers allowed? Yes. We are talking about the finale. There's a huge title spoiler warning in the title. So yes. Do you think Snoke will be explored more in season 3? Yes. I think this is leading up to shows that will be connective tissues to the sequel trilogy. They have more of Grogu's blood, so we'll see some reference to that. My newest video on TikTok is out soon, bro. Cool. I'll check it out when it's out. I think they should explore Din's point of view from the Battle of Exegol. Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities, guys. Like all of these story threads just shot out of this finale. The rumor that I heard is that one of the villains in the Kenobi show is a group of clones to kill Obi-Wan led by Cody. I don't know if there's any legs on that one. They would have already transitioned into the Imperial Army. And as we know in episode 4, Obi-Wan's been doing a great job hiding from them. I think Kenobi is going to be more of an anthology and less about a villain. And we may even see him dealing with marauders and bounty hunters. Why did the scientists need Grogu's blood again? Presumably for Snoke. Excuse me, as Darth Vader makes an appearance. God, I love Thrawn. His theme in Rebels is one of my favorite character themes. If they do bring Thrawn in, I really hope it's the same guy who voiced Thrawn in Rebels. Yes, Thrawn is that's not something that they're gonna drop and just leave. Not, there has to be closure, and they have to pay off that drop. Okay, it's Chekhov's gun. They're gonna pay it off in the Ahsoka series. I think if I'm doing the mental math and the mental gymnastics, I think Thrawn is going to be an overarching villain that they're going to do that huge crossover event for. Rangers, Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Book of Boba, it's all going to culminate. Their stories are going to converge on Thrawn at some point. As far as Lars Mikkelsen, he can very well pull off Thrawn. He was the voice, he has the look, but I'd like to see Dan Stevens pull it off. Dan Stevens from Beauty and the Beast, Legion. I think he has the voice, he has the face shape, and he has the disposition. Have you seen the post-credit scene? I have. What happened to the clone scientist at the end of the episode? I think they just let him go. I don't know. How strong is Savage Opress? He is at least below Maul's strength. I think we will see Mando go to Mandalore. I agree. He has his end of the deal to live up to. Bo-Katan helped him get the child back, and so it's time for Din to help her take Mandalore. Was Thrawn's ship Chimera destroyed in the Rebels finale, or is it still intact? As far as we know, it wasn't destroyed. It was just, along for the ride with the Purgle. Wait, so what's up with where is Asajj Ventress? Connor, you'd have to read Dark Disciple for that. I cannot spoil it, but you know what? If you ask again, I will spoil it. Do you think we'll see Luke and Ahsoka meeting? That's definitely possible. Definitely possible. Luke describes Ahsoka in his book, Secrets of the Jedi. The book Secrets of the Jedi is from Luke's point of view, and he describes Ahsoka. So they very well may have met. How old do you think Obi-Wan is going to be in his new show? He's in his 30s by Revenge of the Sith. So 40? I don't know. Depending on, they said it was taking place between 3 and 4, but is it right after 3 or is it 10 years after? Or no, they said 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, right? So yeah, he'd be in his 40s. Which character do you think had the most potential that they didn't capitalize on? I think Finn, a rogue stormtrooper and a good actor for the character. They clickbaited him so bad. Yeah, they kind of mishandled Finn in a large way. I think it made sense that Finn wasn't the main character. It was Rey and Ben's story. It was the dyad story. But you're right. They marketed Finn as a larger role than he was. But I definitely think he deserves his own show. Sorry, Pops Off, if anything was spoiled for you. Do you think the Ahsoka show could be the Rebel sequel? Spiritually, yeah. I don't think... spiritually in that we'll see Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra, but narratively, I don't think it's a sequel. I think the Rebels' narrative is over because the Empire is over. So they have just their own kind of story to go off on. What if Luke and Boba saw each other? I don't think Luke would do anything, but Boba would try to do something. Who knows? Remember me? And Luke's like, I don't. Sorry, I don't. Go on, spoil it. Connor. Spoiler alert for Dark Disciple. I'll put my hand up if you want to mute the stream and you want to read Dark Disciple. Ventress died saving Quinlan Voss. They were on a mission to assassinate Dooku, They failed, and Ventress jumped in front of Lightning to save Quinlan Voss. And so Quinlan is alive, Ventress is dead. Spoilers over. I have a theory that the galaxy will be apocalyptic in post episodes 9. New treat from another galaxy will new threat from another galaxy will invade Outer Rim, and Rey will and Finn will take the mantle of the Jedi. That was hard to read. I'm sorry, dude. But the general idea is a post-apocalyptic. I don't think so. I mean, as we all know, balance doesn't mean that darkness doesn't exist, right? The darkness will always exist in balance with the light. And so in post Rise of Skywalker, I think they'll have threats, but largely peacekeeping threats. Nothing as large as Palpatine ever again, unless Rey and Finn are stupid enough to exert their will over the Force again, like the Jedi in the prequels did. And I think they've learned from the mistakes of the Jedi in the past. I think they're going to retain, especially if Rey is learning from the Jedi scriptures, I think she's going to retain a lot of what the ancient Jedi did, which was largely peacekeeping. And they're not going to militarize. They're not going to become warriors. And the Force is going to remain in balance. Do you think Rey joining Ben in episode 8 would have been better for the sequel story? I don't think so. Did you see the end credits? I did. For season 3 of The Mandalorian, do you think that we might get a Mandalorian civil war with Boba, Din, and Bo-Katan? I don't think so. Death Blossom. I think Din and Bo-Katan for sure is well aware of the implications of a civil war. You know, she knows firsthand what the Civil War did to Mandalore. And it just left it a barren wasteland, and Mandalorians live in domes now. Bo-Katan is just... There's no way that they could narratively make that make sense with, like, inciting another civil war. I mean, there might be a clash between the cult and Bo-Katan's Mandalorians, but I don't think there's going to be another civil war. I wish Ahsoka came with them because she would meet her master's son in R2 again. You know, that could very well happen. I mean, Ahsoka has her own things to deal with. You know, it's not about the Skywalkers. It's about her. Now, do you think Grogu fights Kylo? Nope. I think Grogu goes off on his own and returns to Din before that stuff happens. You think they'd ever CGI Grogu? I love Yoda in the prequels, but I'm not sure as many people like that Yoda. Currently they don't need to CGI Grogu. The puppetry is just fantastic. Has Darth Chaco given you the money for the bet? I think we were both wrong, right? Well, no. Actually, now that I think about it, Darth Chaco's bet was that, you know, he would make a deal with Bo-Katan, right? And Bo-Katan would be antagonistic to him. So he is wrong. And my bet was what? That Bo-Katan wouldn't happen with Bo-Katan, right? And Bo-Katan wouldn't be the villain of the episode, right? I think I'm largely correct on that. We'll probably have to hash it out on the Diet and the Force podcast. How did Anakin become a Force ghost if he never had the training or went through the trials to become one? I've never figured this out. So the way that they describe it is... the way they describe it in the book, now that we have the book, is that when you do receive the training and when you do maintain your identity within the living Force, you are in the nether. You are in the world between worlds. And if you die on the light side selflessly, your body disappears and becomes one with the living Force. And it is at this moment that someone with the training like Yoda or Obi-Wan can save you in the world between worlds. And so that's how Anakin became a Force ghost. He was saved by Yoda or Obi-Wan. Do you think it was a mistake having two different directors for the sequels when they seem to have only... It is what it is, FJS. You know, I hardly know the difficulties of the filmmaking process. They had three different directors, and one of them fell off. So, you know, things happen in Hollywood, you know? Creative differences happen. Why does all of Mandalore live in domes? Because they had a civil war where their fighting raised the landscape. Like, it destroyed the agriculture of Mandalore. And so all of the whole planet, the civil war was massive. And it raised the entire planet. So when they live in domes now because they have to. Atmospherically, they can't survive outside, or not survive outside. They can't. A lot of the planet is just barren. If there was one person to come into the Mandalorian, who would you want? Sabine. Sabine's Mandalorian, man. Makes sense. Dagovir. Happy Friday, dude. Let's go. Let's go. I saw your reaction. It was you know. It was you, man. It was you. Do you think the view on the sequels will be changed when we get to know more about the time between the Empire and the First Order? I have not read a lot of books and comics from that time. Any you recommend? I recommend Bloodline. Bloodline is an awesome book in between. I think the view on the sequels will change in time. Absolutely, because the prequels were hated on. I remember, you know, I was like 16, 17 when the prequels came out. Everyone was hating on it just as much, and I was defending him just as much. So this is history repeating itself. And I think the sequels will eventually be loved, whether or not they release more material like the sequel Clone Wars. If the sequels get their own animated show that kind of fleshes things out more, it's bound to happen. What is your favorite Star Wars quote? The strongest stars have hearts of Kyber. What do you think the 10th and unannounced Star Wars show is? They said there's 10 series in the whole works. They showed 8, then announced Boba. That's the 9th show. I'm curious. Luke. Luke and Grogu. The Grogu and Luke show. Do you think Yoda will speak to Grogu? I think he has. I mean, you know, going further into after the finale, I think he has. The more training that Grogu gets, he will. I don't know how you answer all these questions. You have a lot of Star Wars knowledge, fair enough. Yeah? I mean, I watch and read a lot of stuff, and I continually consume Star Wars, so I'd be surprised if I didn't retain a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember off the top of my head, but these are all questions that are constantly asked. What do you think is the best thing to come out of Disney Star Wars? Everything? Just the entire state of Star Wars in general? Before Disney, we had the 6 movies and licensed Dark Horse comics and books that were not canon. You know, George Lucas never considered them canon. They were a parallel universe, and he never read any of it. So yeah, we didn't get anything. We just had the 6 movies. And then after Disney, we had season 7 Clone Wars come back. We had Rebels. We had Resistance. We had Rogue One. Solo. Like, the state of Star Wars is just exponential compared to before Disney. Ciaran or Tiaran, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Have a good one, dude. May the Force be with you. Thanks for tuning in. The sequels need an animated show to make things fit into place. It could have a few seasons between TFA and TLJ, and then some between TLJ and TROS. Yeah, like there's some comics that that cover that timeline, but there's a lot of time to cover in between 6 and 7, especially. But then yeah, there's a year between TLJ and TROS that they could very well do like 2 or 3 seasons of something. To answer the Disney question, I think Mando, Clone Wars, and Rogue One, and obviously the new series coming out in Rebels. Yeah. I think Disney has done such a great job of making it all come together. I'm so glad it's more than just books and movies now. Uh-huh, for sure. It's books, comics, movies, TV shows. So many TV. Seriously? Before Disney, we didn't have a lot. We didn't have much. We had all of these books and comics, but not a lot of people read books and comics, So the fact that we have TV shows and anthology movies and all of this media for people who don't read is astounding. The amount of Star Wars that we have. And just the amount of Star Wars we have for every type of fan. If you're a fan of the books and comics, you have a lot of Star Wars. If you're a fan of the movies, you have a lot of Star Wars. If you're a fan of the TV shows, we have a lot now, and incoming a lot more. Do you think Yoda and Yaddle have a lot of inside jokes? Like, I don't know why. I just imagine it as a funny comedy show. Perhaps they might have a lot of inside jokes like, no, they don't. Of our species. A mystery. It shall remain always. And Yaddle's like, agree, I must. Who has more Star Wars knowledge, you or Choco? I don't know. I know Choco has read more Legends books than me. But in terms of canon, there's no way to say for sure. He did beat me in the trivia, because at the time, my memory failed me on Nia Nun's name and Darth Vader's executor. But we need trivia that is preceded by categories so that I can rearrange my mental synapses to recall it. But definitely we're a dyad. DePaul, have a great day, dude. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. The larger fan base is going to help introduce all these characters we love. I think the fan base is going to much more hardcore per se with these shows, to be honest. Become. Okay, yeah. Listen. Star Wars is bigger and better than ever before. And that's what George Lucas wanted. He said in his interview when he sold it, Disney has the capability of making it so much bigger than he could possibly do. And they have. It's bigger, better. We have books for book fans. We have movies for movie fans. TV shows for TV show fans. There's something for everyone in all of these timelines. And now the High Republic's coming out. We're going to have that stuff too. It's just like, there's something for everyone. There's something for sequel lovers, prequel lovers, original lovers. Just enjoy Star Wars again, man. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you continue to hate on the sequels and just let it live in your head rent free in the next couple of years, I don't know how I can help you. I don't know if you can be helped. Like, it's okay if you don't like the sequels, but there's a lot of Star Wars to go around. So just try to enjoy Star Wars in the best way you can. If you don't like the sequels, then enjoy something else. When you read so much lore, it's very hard recalling it all. Absolutely. I you know what? Half the time I have to look it up again. I think Ahsoka didn't appear at the end because in that timeline she was looking for Thrawn in her series. Yeah, Ricardo, that makes sense completely. I think Thrawn is going to be a story thread that is paid off in the Ahsoka series. And more importantly, it's going to be a villain where all of the series converge. Rangers, Ahsoka, Book of Boba, and Mandalorian, all of it's going to converge on Thrawn. He's that much of a big bad. He's so polarizing. Do you think the sequels would have turned out different, better, or worse if they were written and directed by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni? There's no way for me to say for sure. You know? Because I loved The Last Jedi. I absolutely loved it. Of course, I have my criticisms of it, and not all of it is perfect. But I loved what they did with Luke and the lore in general. So I'm not sure. Would I have loved a sequel trilogy directed by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni? Absolutely. But that's not what we got, so I can't really comment in that front. Even look at Black Spire. Yeah, look at Galaxy's Edge. We didn't have Galaxy's Edge. I mean, come on. We didn't have Savvy's Workshop. I don't hate on the sequels. I just think there was a lot of action, but the story just wasn't as good as I hoped. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not for everyone. TFA was great. The Last Jedi, my second favorite behind Empire Strikes Back. The Rise of Skywalker was a little meh. But it is what it is. But so many kids love the sequels. Yeah, they do. Like, I have friends, Victoria Vader is one of them, who talks about, little girls in her dance classes who absolutely they're talking about Star Wars. We have little girls and kids talking about Star Wars. And so, I mean, I don't know what the goal is to just continually hate on the sequels and just take that away from new fans, I can see the conflict within you. Let go of your hate for the sequels. There is no conflict. I don't hate the sequels, but in my opinion, they are not in Star Wars level. Well, you may need to give them another shot. I'm just saying. But if you continue down this path, at least leave people alone who do like the sequels. Because you gotta let people love what they love, Girlfriend's cousins love Finn and Rey so much. It's nuts. Yeah, you just gotta let people love what they love, man. There's absolutely no end game in bashing on people who love the sequels. There's none. I think they could have used Luke better. That's all really when I meant story, just with he was used in less of a comedic fashion. I think they used Luke in an outstanding way. Jack, I'm not going to sit here and try to get you or convince you to like the sequels. That's not my goal. But I would like to provide insight into how they used Luke. I think Luke, first of all, Luke provided much needed commentary on being human and being a legend. Like, just because you saved the galaxy and have become a legend in the galaxy's eyes, it doesn't mean you're infallible. And doesn't mean you're not capable of mistakes and failing. And it's doubly true when Luke speaks of the hubris of the Jedi Order from the prequels. And it was just so valuable to me to see Luke confront the story of the prequels in a way that has never been confronted before. Like, no one in the galaxy, no one has confronted the failure of the Jedi Order. Luke did that. And in that way, I appreciate how real Luke was in The Last Jedi. Do you think we'll see Grogu and Luke together in another show or movies? Possibly. The Luke and Grogu show, perhaps. Or, he could show up and make cameos in The Mandalorian. Star Wars level is getting the next generation after us love and want more, and I think this ST does that very well. What do you think is going to happen to Grogu? I think he's going to train, and I think he's going to reach a growth spurt where he gets as developed as Yoda was when he was a Jedi Master, and he's going to go off on his Jedi trials and rejoin Din. If people like the sequels, more power to them. It's still getting people into Star Wars. I think it's more lack of nostalgia. People hated the prequels when they came out. Yes, just a history repeating itself. Deepfake was a bit crap. I agree. Lots of Uncanny Valley, but then again, I was lost in the moment of seeing Luke have his Rogue One hallway scene that I gave it a pass, you know? Do you think Grogu got killed by Kylo? No. I think, given the fact, like I've said this before, and if you're just tuning in, I'll just rehash it a little bit. Yoda became a Jedi Master at 100, which means that species has a growth spurt, an exponential growth spurt, where they become so developed close to that age for Yoda to become a master. So I think Grogu within 24 years is when Luke's temple is destroyed. So in 24 years, Grogu could very well be old enough to go off on his own and take his Jedi trials and rejoin Din. Being a Star Wars fan is about respecting others' opinions, so I can understand why you like The Last Jedi so much. To be honest, if I rewatch it a couple of times, I will most likely understand it all a bit more. Yeah, that's usually what it takes for a lot of people to kind of come to terms with it. I certainly didn't get it all in the first watch. On my first watch in the theaters, I liked it. I appreciated Luke's character, but after rewatching it again, there's so much deep lore. The Prime Jedi, balance in the Force, life and death and decay, and just him confronting the failure of the Jedi Order and how they failed his father. That was a story thread that I didn't think they had the balls to confront, and they did. And Luke was confronting them. He's like, the Jedi need to end. They failed. They trained and created Darth Vader. And so, following in their footsteps, I trained and created Kylo Ren. So it made sense for him to be jaded in that on that front. The pups were all over the place. I think for sure Grogu was not around during the... Yes. All right. I'll address everyone here. I don't think that... So plot holes exist in movies by happenstance or by accident. And they have to fill those plot holes later on, right? Filoni and Favreau will not have created a plot hole intentionally. So there is a narrative reason for why Grogu is not in The Rise of Kylo Ren and he is not at the temple when it's destroyed. So Grogu has a narrative thread there for going off into the distance before all of that happens. I wish we got an Ahsoka and Luke interaction. We very may will in the Ahsoka show. Nothing's off the table anymore. It's hard to talk Star Wars sequels with my cousin because he absolutely hates the sequels. And one time I was talking about gatekeeping with him, and it seemed like he agreed with the gatekeepers. Yeah. There's nothing I can say that I haven't said already. It's just... we want more people to enjoy Star Wars. We want more Star Wars fans. The more Star Wars fans that are out there, the more Star Wars we get. And it doesn't make sense to gatekeep. It doesn't make sense to just like not want more people to be fans. Top 3 Mando episodes ever. The Heiress, The Jedi, and The Rescue. Did you see a lot of Anakin in like during the hallway scene? Oh, did you see a lot of Anakin and Luke during the hallway scene? There were some moves that were callbacks for sure, but I don't think it was all Anakin. It was definitely Luke, and more importantly, it was a lot of Yoda. Because Yoda, in between ROTJ and Yoda between RTJ and TFA has been training Luke via Force Ghost. In Luke's Secrets of the Jedi book, he says that Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon all have counseled Luke in his years. I think R2-D2 saved Grogu. I swear they had some sort of connection when they met. Yeah, if you watched my reaction video, I knew Grogu recognized R2. I think my personal dislike for the sequels isn't as a Star Wars fan, more so as a movie fan, if that makes sense. I still love Star Wars and love that these movies exist nonetheless. Good on you, Luke, though. I mean, I understand completely. How can Sabine give Bo the Darksaber later on in Rebels if it must be taken in battle? That's an answer we're going to have to wait for Favloni to give us, to be honest. I mean, Sabine won it from Gar Saxon. It's hers. But you know what? There's a lot of like wiggle room in terms of the provenance of the Darksaber. I had a comment on my reaction video. This is like the Harry Potter Elder Wand situation, because no one won it from Darth Maul. Or Darth Maul lost it and Sabine found it, and it was taken by Gar Saxon. So we don't really know who the true owner is by virtue of combat, you know? I want to see a show of the two twins and sister from the Old Republic. You're talking about Thexan and Arkan and Valen. I don't know their names. Just saw the cinematic scenes. Yeah, that's the Eternal Empire, the Eternal Throne, and that's Valkorion, or Darth Vitiate, the Emperor. I'm kind of new to Star Wars lore. Have the Dark Troopers been in Star Wars before, or were they created for Mando? No, they've been in there before, in games and in comics. In this episode, they refer to them as like third generation Dark Troopers, so it kind of like backdoor canonizes their existence to a degree. But yeah, they existed before. Did you see the cutscene after the episode ended? Yes, I did. What is your top 3 arcs in Clone Wars? The Lawless, the Mortis arc, and the Siege of Mandalore. So going off of how the season 2 ended, do you think that other shows regarding Boba, Bo-Katan, and even Ahsoka are going to come up? Yeah. We already have the Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, and the Mandalorian. All in the same timeline, filming in tandem with each other. So, for sure. Hey dude, love your videos. Kareem, thank you so much. I just want to change the conversation around Star Wars, you know. I want Star Wars to be a positive impact on people's lives. And I want the community to feel safe, to air their grievances, but also to celebrate Star Wars. I for the longest time before I joined TikTok and before I started doing content, I thought that, you know, the voices of people who liked the sequels were largely silenced and discouraged. But I found some people on TikTok who were speaking up, and I wanted to, you know, contribute to healing the Star Wars fandom. We need to stop smelling the turds that we think that are there, and just start celebrating what we love. Do you have a Discord where we can discuss Star Wars? I am part of Darth Chaco's book club Discord. I don't have my own Discord just because I don't have the time to curate its members, because you know, I wouldn't want gatekeepers and toxic people in that Discord. I mean, I'm still thinking about making my own, but we'll see. Dude, I swear, as soon as I finished the episode, I came to your YouTube channel to hear from the Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's Kiosco Hecho. Kiosco Hecho. In the chat, guys. Spam some emotes for Kiosco Hecho. Just say Kiosco Hecho, like over and over again. PogChamps or something. Craziness indeed. I always miss Dark Choco stuff. Yeah, I mean, but you have his schedule, right? So, I mean, Choco podcasts Wednesdays at 5, and he's doing one now. I mean, not now, but he's doing one in an hour. He's doing a season 2 podcast, High Ground podcast, in an hour. I don't know if he's live streaming it, but he's doing one. I've always been a moderate Star Wars fan. I didn't really watch Force Awakens when coming out, but in the past couple of years, I've become a diehard fan. I think that's because Disney has pulled me in. Disney has pulled a lot of people in. What are your thoughts on the Ahsoka show? I think Ahsoka is going to be about the world between worlds, and we're going to get a lot of Force lore in there. A lot of Force lore. And she's going to go around like a kind of like a pilgrim and study ancient Jedi artifacts and relics. And she's going to meet Luke at some point, and then she's going to find Thrawn. How about finding some mods you trust who can bring order to your future Discord? Yeah. Pops off. Have a good night, man. Thanks for tuning in. No, I just get to see his TikToks and sometimes his podcast. Well, that's where you'll find him, right? He live streams his podcasts and then he does TikToks. I'm trying to get him to stream more and more. So all you got to do is just comment on his stuff and help me out on that front. Predictions for the Bad Batch. So I think the Bad Batch didn't follow Order 66, and they are, giving the Empire a run for their money. And I think they rescued Grogu. We need to start a petition to get you implemented into the Star Wars universe. I think I'm already implemented in the Star Wars universe, right? I'm the 7th element. Damn the Dr. Aphra of the Force, I'd be so down. Yeah. Dagavir, I'm definitely trying to get him to stream more. I wanted to do a Sator stream now, but I just I'm having fun chilling and hanging out with everybody here and talking The Mandalorian. Someone do me a favor and type in chat LUL in all caps. Because I have Twitch emotes enabled. And I want to know if they work on YouTube. Okay, that's not working. Why isn't it working? Do I have a Twitch? I do have a Twitch, but I don't stream on there anymore. Who else were you expecting to show up to save Grogu? Man. Yaddle, Quinlan Voss, Ezra, Cal Kestis, Sabine. Well, Sabine, like, not the Force user, but there's a lot. top 3 favorite Clone Wars episodes: The Lawless, The Citadel, and Phantom Apprentice Part 2. Why isn't the Twitch emotes working? Let's try this. Who did you really want it to be to save him and be 100% honest? Yaddle. I'm going to be honest, I wanted someone else to show up for Grogu just so we can expand on the universe a bit more. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't want it to be Luke narratively. I wanted them to go a little bit further removed from Luke Skywalker and the Skywalkers in general, because the galaxy is that big. And so I kind of wanted Yaddle or Quinlan Voss to come back and just kind of take the show in that direction. But Luke Skywalker is, I'll take it. When did your love of Star Wars become so great? When I saw Empire Strikes Back. If there was one Star Wars character you would play as in a movie, who would it be? Satil Shan's boyfriend. Yeah. So during The Mandalorian, what else is going on in the universe? Ahsoka's looking for Thrawn. The New Republic is just, getting their bearings straight. Han Solo is a coach for racer pilots, like called Sabers, and Leia is, in the midst of rebuilding the New Republic Senate with the centrists and the populists and having that good old time with politics. Where does Revenge of the Sith rank on your list? It's one for me, but I didn't grow up with the original, so it might have been different. So my top 3 is Empire Strikes Back, The Last Jedi, and Revenge of the Sith. It is my favorite of each trilogy. And that's how my ranking is formatted. That's how my ranking is formatted for the rest of them. Is another 3 is the second favorite of each trilogy, and then the next 3 is third favorite of each trilogy. Would you like Lars Mikkelsen to play live action Thrawn? Yeah. I would love Lars Mikkelsen to play Thrawn. He does the voice, and he has the face, although he's a little bit old. But I really want to. I'm sold on Dan Stevens. I'm sold on Dan Stevens from Legion, Beauty and the Beast, Downton Abbey to play Thrawn. He has the voice naturally. He's got the facial structure and everything. And yeah, I did. If you check my Twitter, I put a little shop that I did of Dan Stevens as Thrawn. He looks the part. Unpopular opinion: Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones got way too much hate. I think the prequels got way too much hate in general, don't you think? I think the hate is just way too much in general. I think the voice of Thrawn is the most important. Yeah, Dan Stevens and Lars Mikkelsen can do the voice of Thrawn. I think Fassbender can do it as well. I think every single actor that experiences hate gets way too much hate. I think in general, hate is just too pervasive and like overall. I just want people to start enjoying themselves more. You know, we're already in quarantine. We're already just like in this pandemic. There's no need to just hate more. I do like to watch the sequels now and again. They are cool, but Mandalorian, especially since the last episode, has made me think we could have got so much more with Filoni and Favreau. Correction, we are getting so much more with Filoni and Favreau. The Favloniverse is just beginning. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Michael Fassbender, Dagavir. What will be the next season of Mando? What will the next season of Mando be like in your opinion? And do you think it will be as popular without Grogu? P.S. Love your content. Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate you. The next season of The Mandalorian is going to be Din upholding his end of the deal and helping Bo-Katan retake Mandalore. And we're going to get a lot of Mandalorian culture, history, and mythology in the third season. A lot. This is the perfect show to give us Mandalorian mythology and lore. The Mandalorian. You know, it would be prudent of Disney to start going historical on the Mandalorian stuff. I think people should just enjoy Star Wars as it is. There's no changing the previous films, so enjoy them. Yes, absolutely. What do you think Starkiller as a character? Do you really want to know? Think they'll ever make Starkiller canon? I don't think so. What Star Wars film have you watched the most? I'm taking it's Empire as it's your favorite. Yes. I've watched Empire Strikes Back 63 times. And yes, I am keeping track of it. I've watched The Last Jedi 12 times. Recommend comics to read for the Old Republic. I have to open up my Kindle library for this. All right, fam, I gotta head out. Thanks for talking. Thanks for tuning in, Dagavir. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Comic recommendations for the Old Republic. Don't I have a collection for this? Jeez. Sorry. Okay, so the comics is called The Old Republic: Thread of Peace and The Lost Sons. You should check those out. I was thinking Starkiller would be who takes Grogu. Not really. I don't see that. Starkiller isn't canon anymore, and he's not going to be. Starkiller can definitely murder your favorite Jedi. I don't know. I don't think Starkiller could take Satele Shan. I remember asking you if you... I mean, Satele Shan trained under quite the battle master. And Starkiller is just a clone. I remember asking you if you wanted a Starkiller film, and you straight up said no. Seeing it now, I completely agree. Yeah. Listen, I would love to see a canon film of Galen Marek and see a story centered around him. his character, but I would not want a one-to-one canonization of Starkiller or the Force Unleashed, because that is just bad, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Would get just too. You would just get boring. Yeah, he's too powerful. Agreed. Do I like anime? If so, what's my favorite? My favorite is Zegapane. Not a lot of people have seen it, but that anime made me cry. Why do you hate Starkiller? I don't hate Starkiller. I just think his story doesn't fit and doesn't jibe well with the overall G canon that has been established. You know, clones of Vader and, you know, power creep issues. I think it presents a lot of narrative problems for G canon and Prime Disney canon. Odds on Cal Kestis appearing in any sort of live action format is slim. He's got his Fallen Order sequel coming out, so yeah, I think he's gonna largely remain in that bubble. Zegapane, classic stuff. Oh yeah, I know you've watched that one, but oh yeah. So back to anime. Zegapane, Ergo Proxy, Naruto for sure, Bleach, Full Metal, Black Clover, Attack on Titan, Kimetsu no Yaiba or Demon Slayer, Konosuba, Ekasaparajan. There's a lot. I mean, I watch a lot. I'm just gonna end up listing it all. Sorry, I just joined. I was really expecting Ezra. I thought all pointed to him, both cats and everything. I was freaking out with Luke. Yeah, same here. There was a lot of possibilities that I had, you know, speculated on. Yaddle, Ezra, Quinlan, but I mean, I'll take Luke. We've never seen Prime Luke, and that was his own Rogue One hallway scene right there. Other than Ahsoka and Kenobi spin-offs, what are most excited for? I'm most excited for Ahsoka, and then The Acolyte. I am a lore person, okay? And while I'm excited for Visions too, but while I'm excited for just the whole entire landscape of Star Wars coming up for Disney Plus, I think Ahsoka and the Acolyte are the most Force lore focused, with the Acolyte theoretically being like a backdoor canon for Darth Talon. And it's at the end of the High Republic. So when they said there was no Sith in the High Republic, this is the end of the High Republic. And so this is the Acolyte. And then just the Force lore surrounding Ahsoka and the World Between Worlds. I'm actually looking forward to Andor. I didn't think I would, but it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it as well. Gilroy, I think, is the director of it, and I love the Bourne movies, the Jason Bourne movies. So if this is going to be espionage, I'm all for it. I just gotta stop. I just gotta stop saying Battle of Andor because of it. Wait, I thought Yaddle died saving Anakin, or is that Legends? That's Legends, yes. From the Jedi Quest books. That is Legends. Wait, so Battlefront 2 the game, how old was Luke? $23? In the upcoming Kenobi series, do you think that they're gonna show more of Vader's face since they got Hayden back? Yeah. They're gonna show us flashbacks, dude. Flashbacks to the Clone Wars. We're gonna get Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen in their Clone Wars armor. Oh, and could you imagine a live action version of the Mortis arc? Like the Mortis flashback or something, because they have Ahsoka. Well, no, Ahsoka was pretty young back then, so I don't know. Do you play a lot of Battlefront 2? I used to. There's a lot of games. Like I'm playing Cyberpunk right now, and then Destiny 2. So I got Squadrons and I played that for a while, but I realized that I was just not an ace pilot. Who's your favorite Mandalorian? Sabine. Followed closely by Bo-Katan. Not gonna lie, I really wanted Ashley Eckstein to play Ahsoka, but Rosario is growing on me. I think she makes a good older Ahsoka. Also agreed. I don't know if Ashley Eckstein would have been able to pull off live action Ahsoka, to be quite honest. You know, she is a voiceover artist more so than she is a performing actor. And I just don't think she kind of matches the aesthetic as much as that isn't a controversial opinion to have. Would I have liked Ashley to voice over Ahsoka in the same way that Whitwer voiced over Ray Park in Solo? Yes. But I digress. When do you think the upcoming projects will be released? At the very least, 2021. Because Obi-Wan is filming in March. Book of Boba and Season 3 is coming out winter. So, at least Christmas 21. Do you think Kylo killed Baby Yoda when he destroyed the train? No, he didn't. So Yoda became a Jedi Master at 100 years old, which means that there's a growth spurt that's bound to happen with Grogu. So Grogu's going to have that growth spurt in the next 24 years, and he's going to go off and take his Jedi trials. And in the Rise of Kylo Ren comics, he's not at the temple, so he went off somewhere else. He's not there. What's my light level? 10... Not 10. 12... High 1260s. I haven't played in a while since Cyberpunk. Did you see Boba Fett in the end credit scenes? I did. The Book of Boba Fett, you know. They announced a new show. Everyone knew going into the Disney investors meeting that Boba was going to get his offshoot just like Ahsoka, but I guess they didn't announce it because that would have been a spoiler for the finale, right? Did you see Boba Fett in the... Yeah, okay. What is your first prediction for the main plot of Mando Season 3? We're going to see Grogu training with Luke. And we're going to see Din go to Mandalore with Bo-Katan and try to retake Mandalore. Because he still has his end of the bargain to hold up. I wish Binary Sunset was more prominent when Luke showed up. I heard it a little bit, but still. They played enough of it. You know, it's still a Mandalorian show. What's with the Boba ending? What's the story behind that? We don't know how he canonically survived the Sarlacc pit. There is legends about it, you know, with his armor saving him from the acid. But we don't know that canonically how he survived. But I think the Book of Boba Fett is going to give us Crime Lord Boba, Nar Shaddaa. He's going to be taking over Jabba's cartel. He's going to be a crime lord. He's going to have his own... Or he's just rebuilding Krait's Claw. He's rebuilding his bounty hunter group, but it's going to be a cartel. I want to see how Count Dooku turned into a Sith, however, unlikely as the actor is dead, but I don't think we got enough Dooku. Very underrated, in my opinion. Please don't. I don't want another Uncanny Valley CG person. Sorry. Don't tempt me with the flashbacks. It's bound to happen, man. It's bound to happen. I'm gonna have flashbacks. You can't bring back Hayden and not utilize him. in a way, because he still looks like young Anakin, to be honest, and Ewan can still look like young Master Obi-Wan. All of that is just not. It's not. It's not possible for them to cast Hayden Christensen and that be the end of it. He's just playing Darth Vader. Wanted Cal Kestis so bad. Yeah, a lot of people wanted Cal. I don't think he narratively makes sense, though. Ezra made narrative sense. I mean, as far-fetched as this was, Yaddle made narrative sense. Quinlan Voss made narrative sense. Luke made the most sense, but I didn't want it to be Luke, if that makes sense. I wanted them to stray from the Skywalkers, finally, and just kind of scale the universe in a different path. Moff Gideon got whopped. Absolutely. How would I rank the season 2 episodes? I'll give you my top 3 in order from most to least. The Jedi, the Heiress, the Rescue. If they do flashbacks, do you think we'll see Rex? If we see Rex, it's going to be a de-aged Tamara Morrison. And that's going to be another Uncanny Valley. Unless they do like an awesome deepfake. They got to work out that technology, man. Before we start exploring young people. The young versions of the characters. What do you think about R2 seeing Grogu? I think Grogu recognized R2 from the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, man. I think they recognized each other for sure. What did Grogu reached out to all the peeps and they were just like, nah. I think Luke was the only one that was opening himself up to the Force, to be honest, to receive that message. What I want from Kenobi should have been called just Kenobi, to see a Satine cameo. Also, I don't think Corky Kenobi makes sense, but I think it's probs real because fans. I think Corky Kenobi makes sense. Amen. Listen. Corky is the nephew of Satine and Bo-Katan with no sight of a third sister. You know? And Bo-Katan certainly wasn't, she was Death Watch at the time. She's certainly not having children. So, Corky Kenobi makes sense. A hidden child. Sebastian Stan as Luke sometime? Mm-hmm. He makes the most sense. Will we see Luke and Grogu together or just Grogu down the line? Luke and Grogu together for sure in some episodes. Will Grogu tell Luke about Anakin? Luke already knows about Anakin. Sadly, Ahsoka didn't meet Luke, but do you think she knew about him and him getting Grogu to train him? I think so. Like in Luke's book, Secrets of the Jedi, he talks about Ahsoka, so they could have met. I want to see Ahsoka's reaction to finding out Anakin turned back. Do you think we'll see that in Ahsoka? Yes. There is a lot. There's a lot of threads that they can, or there's a lot of like loose ends they can close up with Ahsoka. I thought Bo-Katan was going to turn at the end during the slow ending. Nah, she doesn't have it in her. The last time Bo-Katan was evil and antagonistic, she lost her sister. And there's no way Bo-Katan is going down that path again. She's not going to let Gideon manipulate her into fighting another Mandalorian. She is above that. Near. Oh, no. I didn't realize I had this on repeat. Um, basically, Mando is the leader of Mandalore right now. Not really. He's certainly got a claim to the throne, but it's up to the clans to follow. Do you know what I mean? Pedro Pascal portrays Din so well, especially with the character development toward the end of the season. I think he portrayed it very well. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, Grogu probably knew who Anakin was, so might tell Luke more about him. Also, fair enough with Corky, would be cool. Plus, he has a British accent, I think, like Obi-Wan. Yes. He doesn't quite have the same accent as Obi-Wan, but he could very well be Obi-Wan's son. In the Kenobi series, will Obi and Ahsoka meet again? I hope so, because there's still a loose end there with Ahsoka having her Silka beads that she left with Anakin at the temple. So who gave it to her? Kenobi? Did Bo-Katan ever lose in a duel for the Darksaber? She should be the owner. She never fought for it. Did Ezra Bridger ever tell the crew that Kenobi was alive? I don't think so. What would Mando do next, in your opinion? Help Bo-Katan retake Mandalore. It's the deal that he made with her in the episode. You know? Help me get the child back, and I'll help you to retake Mandalore. So now it's contingent upon Din to keep his word. By Creed. Could the Darksaber be made of Beskar? No one I speak to seems to think this, but I think it would be cool. I think the hilt is made out of pure Beskar, but I don't think that's been canonically confirmed. We do know that it's made from a kyber crystal, though. We just don't know which one. One of the best things about Star Wars TikTok is now I know there's other people like me who are obsessed with Star Wars. Yes. TikTok has certainly made loving Star Wars cool. Found out if any new episodes come out of... What? Oh. If any new episodes come out of anything, Star Wars, never go on to... For sure, dude. For sure. One of the episodes I had, like, slightly spoiled for me because I had woken up to social media notifications. It's just... And thankfully, it wasn't really a big, huge spoiler. But, yes. If you care so much at all about spoilers... Stay off of social media. You'll have people who have the spoiler tags, but then you'll have people who just don't. TikTok made me binge Clone Wars and all the movies during quarantine again. Yep. A lot of people are watching Rebels. A lot of people are catching up with Clone Wars. It is what it is, man. I avoid everything to ensure no spoilers. Don't you have a spoiler app as well? I removed mine because at some point it just blocked everything. I think Admiral Thrawn will appear with Ezra in Season 3 or potential Season 4 of The Mandalorian. I think Admiral Thrawn is a big bad that will culminate in a crossover event, the likes of which have only been seen on Arrowverse. And it's going to be Rangers, Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Book of Boba. They're all going to have their own shows and separate story threads, right? And Thrawn's going to be teased in each one of them. And then they're all going to converge in a crossover event called Thrawn. I remember seeing your lightsaber on TikTok. Can you show it? I don't know if my batteries are charged. But I will. Hold on one second. Who is Bo-Katan retaking Mandalore from? I thought Empire wiped out the planet, or are they just rebuilding the culture? No, the Empire didn't wipe out the planet. The Empire kind of attacked them after they showed resistance during Rebels. So she's just retaking it from the Empire. Hold on one second. Here is the lightsaber. I don't think my batteries are dead. Batteries are dead. I gotta charge them. So why did Sabine give the Darksaber to Bo-Katan and accepted it, but with Mando they have to combat? I don't know. I don't know. That's going to be an answer that Favloni is going to have to give us. How long is the stream going on for? I want to stay the whole thing, however, it's late here. Jack, yeah, I'm going to end this stream soon. I'm going to go watch Darth Chaco's High Ground stream, where he's going to talk about the whole season there. So definitely not for too much longer. Weren't those Dark Troopers also in Rebels as Thrawn's sparring partners? Those weren't known as Dark Troopers, although they could be they could theoretically be, regarded as such. Given that the Mandalorian called them, third generation Dark Troopers, that could very well be the case. It's the Avengers all over again. Yep. I'm so hyped for all the Star Wars content that is coming up. It is a great time to be a Star Wars fan, for sure. Apparently they're remastering Republic Commando. You excited about that? Are they? I wasn't a huge fan of Republic Commando. I only played KOTOR and KOTOR 2. I know. Feels bad, man. I'm reading OG Thrawn books, and he has a weird animal that can block force attacks. Is there anything like that in canon? I'm sure there is. You should read the canon Thrawn books. How can I binge Clone Wars since it's a lot of long episodes? I think they're like 23 minutes, right? They're just standard length. They're not long at all. Have you seen a lightsaber made by Hacksmith? I have. It's pretty cool. Do you stream every Saturday, or is it during the week sometimes? During the week sometimes, when I don't really have a stream schedule, to be honest, because my schedule is sporadic. But I mean, at some point, I may consider going full time on it, for sure. What comics do I recommend? Rise of Kylo Ren, Darth Vader 2020 by Greg Pak, Star Wars 2020, Darth Vader 2017, Darth Vader 2015. There's a lot of Star Wars and Darth Vader to read. Yeah, start with those. Dayton. Start with those. What stream are you gonna watch after this? I'm gonna watch. Hopefully, if Darth Chaco is streaming his High Ground, I'm gonna be watching that. Why did he try to kill himself in the show? Did he knew it was Luke and was scared? Yeah. The absolute terror and dread on his face as he saw the Jedi cutting through his Dark Troopers. I think that was pretty much the end for him. He didn't see a way out. Should I play Fallen Order after watching all the movies and TV shows before it? You don't have to. You should play it now if you want to. But the movies will definitely the movies will definitely give you a lot of great insight into what they're referring to in Fallen Order. Should I play Fallen Order after watching all the movies and TV shows? Oh, wow. I glossed over that one. Whew. What was he build in KOTOR and KOTOR 2? Wait, what? Thanks, Jack. I appreciate you. Squadron 7. I just started Dawn of the Jedi by Tim Levin. Yes, that's a great one. Great one. The monolith that calls the Daibendu resembles the Mortis planet, doesn't it? But that's Legends, so you can't be too sure about that one. Was there any story on Moff Gideon before The Mandalorian? Nope. Do you think we will see Cal in the future of Star Wars in the Fallen Order 2? Take care, Kiosco. Have fun with Rebel Season 2. You're definitely going to have fun with that one. Thank you for answering all my questions. I wish I knew a lot like you, and I'm trying, but you're a Jedi Master. Listen, I've been a fan of Star Wars for practically 30 years. I've been reading books, comics, and just keeping up with everything, and I am a product of that result, where I'm a product of that whole circumstance. So, if you want to know a lot about Star Wars, then enjoy it. Read about it. Read its comics, his books, and just kind of go no holds barred on your enjoyment of Star Wars. What do you think Fallen Order 2 will revolve around, and any cameos or Easter eggs in it like Obi-Wan? I don't really know, to be honest. The galaxy is large. The galaxy is huge. So, having destroyed that holocron and going off and just, they could just be another ghost crew. The Mantis crew just goes around and are a bunch of nomads going around and working for money, getting jobs done, that kind of stuff. I don't really see the larger story thread here, and it's probably because I haven't thought about it too much, but yeah. Where was the other member? Axe was probably Axe was probably doing some other work. We don't know. So most likely Bo-Katan and Casca made a pit stop on what looked like Lothal, and Axe had another mission to do or something where he was gathering another ship or meeting with other Mandalorians. Do you think they will make more? I think the TV shows we're getting, Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, I think those are effectively Rebels sequels, spiritually. Or not sequels, but spiritual successors. Do you think it was dumb of Cal to break the holocron? No, I think it was very Jedi of him to do. I've only just gotten into Star Wars because of all the lockdowns in the UK and spare time on my hands, and I'm so hyped about this. Can't wait for the Ahsoka series. Hashtag find Ezra. Yes, yes, Harvey. Welcome to the Star Wars community. Welcome to Star Wars. It is a great time to be a Star Wars fan, man. Being a Star Wars creator, I bet, is kind of toxic, but thanks for all you do for the community. I normally watch Star Wars Theory streams because I've been a fan of him for a while, but glad to be here. Thank you, Eamon. Thank you for tuning in and contributing to the conversation positively. I mean, for the longest time, it was toxic. I sound like Luke in The Last Jedi. For the longest time, there was balance. And then there was Ben. Yeah. For the longest time, it was nothing but toxic. But I want everyone to be excited about Star Wars. I want more Star Wars fans out there. You know, imagine what it does for young people, for the youth, to go to school and talk about Star Wars and not be ostracized, you know? And be cool for it. I want Star Wars to be cool. I miss Ahsoka and Lux. How could you miss Lux, man? Do you ship them? Are you like on this Ahsoka train? Which are you most excited for out of the announced shows? I'm excited for Kenobi and seeing Hayden back in action, but the Acolyte definitely has my interest the most. Yes. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ahsoka first, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then the Acolyte, or maybe the Acolyte second, just because I'm a huge sucker for like new stuff and Force lore, and you know, Kenobi being in the past is a little bit it doesn't lend itself to be a continual story thread, right? There's one through line they have to follow until Obi-Wan's death in A New Hope, and that's it. So I'm more excited about ongoing series that have potential to keep going, like Ahsoka and the Acolyte. Hayden Christensen coming back as Vader as well is just so amazing. I would love to see the Siege of the Jedi Temple and a bit more post-order. Yeah. Hayden Christensen coming back, you know, has a lot of implications for them doing flashbacks, Clone Wars flashbacks. You know, Ewan and Hayden in Clone Wars armor. That would be epic. How long you been doing this, and do you think the community you've built around you now is something you want to expand in the future? I started doing this seriously in like in February. And as far as Squadron 7, I absolutely want to expand it in the future. I want everyone to be part of Star Wars. I want everyone to enjoy Star Wars again. And I want Squadron 7 to be a place where people can enjoy what they enjoy and not have to deal with gatekeepers and toxicity and people bashing what they love. If you hate the sequels and love the prequels, love the prequels. If you hate the prequels and love the sequels, love the sequels. But the underlying message is that just let live and let live. You know, let people love what they love about Star Wars. Not everyone's going to share your opinion. And let everyone be a Star Wars fan that wants to be a Star Wars fan. I mean, there's still a lot of she's not a Skywalker. Like, Rey is the best character of the sequels, in my opinion, and Ahsoka was cool for a bit. Would have liked to see more of him. I hate the memes. People who think Rey is the chosen one. Like, yeah, no one ever said Rey was the chosen one, and she's definitely a Skywalker. The name was given to her. It's in the Star Wars book. You really can't, at this point, continue to argue your feelings over the matter. Like, if it's your opinion that she's not a Skywalker, that's great. But to argue it in objective truths is a little bit fallacious. Want to see and hear Hayden say snips in live action. Ooh, that would be awesome, you know? I would love that too. I'm writing a book right now for a sequel to the sequels. And just the implication of like saying, it's good to see you again, Snips, is just, whew, much feels. What's up, Republic Dog Studios? How's your Friday? It's going good so far. I'm about to end this stream to watch Darth Choco's High Ground podcast, but you're welcome to join us. YouTube.com/Darth Chocolate. Also, big ups for pronouncing my name rightly. Most people don't. Is Eamon correct? I would assume that some people might jokingly say Amon, you know? Do you want to make your own comic with your own story and your own lore with a character you made? So I am currently writing Echoes of the Past. The prologue and the first chapter is out right now in audio drama form. And I am gearing it up to be about an original character in my own story with my own lore. So yeah, I'm doing that right now. Why didn't we see Ben at the end of Revenge of the Sith next to Luke and Leia? You mean The Rise of Skywalker? I'm not sure. I don't have an answer for you. Why did Hayden get so much hate during the prequels? The same reason the sequels get a lot of hate nowadays, you know? It's just his... It's the way the Star Wars fans were, and still is to a lesser degree. But I think me, Shayla Wren, Darth Chaco, Victoria Vader, and this you know, a dude named Kev, J. Kevin Parker, we're all creating this community of positivity where people can be fans again. Where being a fan is no longer about hating. Being a fan is about enjoying. So for the longest time before, at least for me, the longest time before I started making content, being a Star Wars fan meant hating Star Wars. For the longest time. And so I want to change the conversation about being a Star Wars fan. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're enjoying Star Wars. That's it. Like, hard stop. You enjoy Star Wars. Are they going to make shows about the High Republic? Yeah, man. We're getting the Acolyte, which is at the end of the High Republic, but that just means like there's more shows in like, you know, in pre-production. My biggest question is why Ahsoka wasn't in Revenge of the Sith. She's clearly a massive part of Anakin's arc and a big reason why he lost faith in the Council. Ahsoka had her own things to deal with, man. Ahsoka doesn't exist for Anakin. She exists for herself. I teared up when R2 came out. I don't know why. I almost did. I internalized a lot of my emotions. Can I buy that story? I would love to read it. You don't have to buy it. I'm going to be posting it on YouTube for free and Wattpad when the first book is done. Are you going to try and get your book canonized? You know, if I could just get into a room with Filoni That would be a dream come true. If I could get my book or books to have shows about them, ooh, that is the dream. That is the ambition right now. Esteban, you just joined. We are about to end the stream. But you can join us. YouTube.com/Darth Chocolate. I'm going to join that stream in a bit when Darth Choco starts streaming. But do you think Grogu was killed by Ren? I do not. Grogu was not at his academy in The Rise of Kylo Ren. And so there is a story there. There's a narrative in which Grogu has gone off on his own to take his Jedi trials. I'm going to hop off now. We'll see you on TikTok, maybe on here. Enjoy the podcast. Thank you, Eamon. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you so much for hanging out and talking the season finale with me. I will post the stream highlight up, so if you missed any of this conversation that we all had in this stream, you can watch it again. But it is the end, and on to the next one, and may the Force be with you. Guys, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your nights.